Copper colored people, I just want to give you some encouragement. Check this out. Okay. Racists and immigrants have collectively did everything they could to shove us out of sectors, right? Every sector's in this country. So when the shit come out, how much fraud has been committed nationwide involving immigrants and racists, remember, they shoved us out. We're going to come out smelling clean, looking fresh. So check this out. I'm bringing this back to your mind for a reason. Remember Nury Martinez? Her and her cronies were exposed in 22 for trying to steal or move district boundaries from us, our communities, to their communities. Because remember, I told you, Black Americans in California hold a lot of political power, right? They was trying to steal it from us. Then the state attorney said that he was going to be investigating the state of California to see what other fraudulent activities have been possibly going on that was affecting or trying to disenfranchise other groups. Because remember, her and her people, they was coming for everybody, right? Okay, but you didn't hear anything else about it. It turns out in 2019, prior to that, her campaign was being investigated for fraud. So this woman is just a fraudulent person. So now they are saying that they have possibly uncovered $250 billion in potential fraud in California. Copper colored people in California and around the nation, if your state have fraud tip lines, start reporting what you know or what you speculate. Keep their feet to the fire.
Speaking of fraud, this week you and State Controller candidate Herb Morgan released preliminary findings of your Califraudia tip line investigation, alleging California could be losing $250 billion in fraud, waste, and abuse. Explain your findings.
So when the Minnesota fraud scandal first emerged around Thanksgiving, I said at the time, I'm very sure that the scale of the fraud here in California is going to be much bigger. It's a much bigger state, obviously, but also we've had one-party rule from Democrats for much longer, and that means you end up with a culture of corruption. There's a lack of checks and balances. And so I set up back then, about a month ago, a tip line for whistleblowers to tell us what they know. It was califraud.com. We've had hundreds of tips come in, which we've been chasing down. On top of that, we've looked at other audits that have happened. The state auditor telling us $24 billion was lost on homelessness spending, $55 billion during the pandemic for the employment department, and so on. We've looked at all of that and all the budgets of the state and looked at the error rate, for example, in payments on food stamps and those kinds of things. And when we look at it, we think that the estimate is at least $250 billion, not all in 1 year, but in the last few years. And that is an outrage because we're paying for that. Hardworking taxpayers, it's hard enough to make things work in California anyway because it's also expensive. And on top of that, your tax money is effectively being flushed down the toilet. It is completely outrageous, and I'm committed to stopping it when I'm governor.